two with another throwdown. Ariel with a three, yes! Ariel Ward knocks it down at the buzzer!
Shot on net, in for Alyssa Valboni! East Longmeadow is your Western Mass champions!
Intercepts the pass. And throws it down!
The Russian quarterback is going to be intercepted all the way for an East Longmeadow touchdown. Kylan kick into the goal.
Welcome to a brand new edition of In the Studio. I'm your host, Tom Cronin, and tonight we are joined by two cross-country runners, junior Jack Moynihan and sophomore Abby Laughlin. Guys, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thanks, Tom. Pretty excited.
I'm excited to be here.
All right, guys. Jack, we're going to start off with you. In your own words, a lot of people don't know what cross-country is. What really is it, in your own words?
So cross-country is it's a 3.1 mile race usually, and it's pretty much, it's one event, so unlike track, and it's just a battle between you and the other runners. So there's no subs, there's no water breaks. You get one shot, and so you pretty much, it's just like any other track race, but it's 3.1 miles, so it's a 5K, and I think it's personally one of the hardest sports to do because you don't have anybody else to pass the ball to or take a water break. You just gotta go for it.
So you're saying it's more individual, but also a team sport at the same time?
Exactly. You definitely get the team aspects because, you're training with these guys every single day. But in the heat of the moment, it's all you. So which is good because, if you do really well, you get all the praise. But if you're terrible, then you get all the blame too. So you can't really pass the blame around.
And Abby, you're a three-sport athlete, and this is your first year running cross-country. What is cross-country like in your mind?
Pretty much what Jack said I think is right. I really like cross-country because of the individual aspect that it has, but also I think that it's definitely really a real team sport. I mean, while it's individual and you control your own race, you also rely on your teammates to motivate you, and at the end of the day, you can't win a meet by yourself. You need your teammates to win a meet. So it has both aspects, which I really like about it.
So which aspect is it more of, Abby? Is it more of a team sport or more of an individual? Or is it 50-50?
I think it's 50-50 because, it's individual. You can do really well and you can be proud of yourself for doing well, but if you want to win meets, you have to rely on your teammates for that. So
I also think that you feed off your teammates too. If one of your teammates runs a great race, and runs, breaks his own personal record or something, you're truly excited for him, and I think that, it's partially individual because it's all you, during the race, but for the other 90% of your time at practice, even during meets, if guys are hurt and not running, they're always cheering you on. So I think, it is a 50-50 split, but I think that you definitely get the team aspect with the individual performance.
And you guys both run track. And Jack, what is the differences and similarities between track and cross country?
Well, track, you have a whole bunch of different events. I could be a hurdler. I could be, 400 sprint. I could do a whole bunch of things. I could run the 2 mile. Cross country, it's one race. So it's a 5K typically. Our course is a little shorter. It's 2.7 miles. But you don't have the luxury of finding your event. You got one event. That's all. You have to go for it. But the similarities are, it's just like any other big meet. It's a big meet. Everybody's watching you for your however long it takes you. All eyes are focused on you. So, and it's running obviously. So.
And Abby, what do you think the similarities and differences will be with cross country? And since you've already ran track.
I think that track, like Jack said, is definitely a lot more specialized. You could be a thrower, you could be a runner, you could be a different type of runner, but cross country, like he said, is all one meet. Also track, you know how it's going to be like going into it. You always run on the same track or the same type of track. You always are doing the same meet. You're usually running against the same type. You're usually running against the same competition. But with cross country, I mean, courses vary between schools, and you're going to be racing different people every week, and it's also a lot harder because you only have one race. I mean, like it or not, you got to be good at that race. You can't just be like, oh, well, this is my event. I have to be good at my event. Everyone has the same event, which is definitely a lot harder. But I don't know, they're definitely also similar because it's very individual. You rely on only yourself to get the job done.
Since you do race against the same people a lot, does that create more of a rivalry, or do you get to scout more and see how other people do things? Does it help you? How does it affect you? And Jack, we'll get your thoughts on that.
I think that there are definitely rivalries, no doubt. Our biggest rivalry is probably Westfield or Amherst, just because they're always good. Longmeadow. The thing with cross country is it really changes. You could have some really great runners who really make the team great, and then they graduate, and then you fall right back down to the bottom. So Longmeadow just lost a couple big runners. So they're not really, a rival anymore. We definitely, have some more, talent than they do. But I think you definitely get the rivalries, and it adds to the the whole aspect of it's a huge meet. It's just whatever. It's just like a football game. It's what a football game is to us.
And Abby, is it more fun that there's just most sports are two teams versus each other? Like you play soccer, so it's Longmeadow versus East Longmeadow. But in a track meet or a cross country meet, there's how many number of schools there? Is that more fun to be a part of, or?
I kind of like it because you might be racing one team and they might not have any competition for you, but you could be racing another team and they'll have competition for you. And it's always a good thing to have good competition because that definitely motivates you to go faster. You definitely run your best when you're with people who are about the same level as you because you are always pushing yourself to reach them. So.
We'll keep it here with you. On the women's side, how has Coach Bud helped you as an athlete and as a person?
Coach Bud, I cannot say enough nice things about Coach Bud. He is a great coach. He definitely treats his girls very individually because he gives us all nicknames, which is I think that's really cool. And I mean, he definitely likes talent on his team, but if you work hard, he'll definitely respect you as an athlete and as a person. And he's just taught me a lot of lessons, not only with running, but with just working hard at everything you do and improving and getting better. And I think he's an excellent coach.
And how about Coach Corbett on the men's side?
I think, well, first off, Corbett is the single best coach I've ever had. He knows how to push every single one of my buttons, and he gets me better every single day. And I just think that, without him, I probably wouldn't still be doing cross country. I probably wouldn't even have, done it because in 8th grade, my whole bunch of the swimming guys, that's how I got into cross country, a whole bunch of the swimming guys. So they told me to come out during 8th grade. And first thing is, Coach Corbett, who, they were just about to run Western Mass meet, he shouldn't even have cared that I was even there, to be honest with you. Super excited that I'm there, hopes that I'm running next year. And he really got me to go on. And I just think that, there's every single time he gives you constructive criticism, but then also the harsh facts. And he doesn't sugarcoat things. So if you do really well, he's going to praise you. But if you don't, even if practice or not, he's gonna let you know. And I think that there's something really valuable about that. No sugarcoating.
And Jack, this is your 3rd year running. How close is the cross country team, and what do you guys do for fun?
Well, we have a whole lot of fun. We're a very close team. So, granted, running isn't exactly what most people think is fun, but
for the few it is.
For the few, it is. We do scavenger hunt runs. So we've already broken up into 3 teams. Corbett's broken us up, and for example, I have to go around town and find as many live things as possible and bring it back to high school. And you just keep a running tally all year. So that would be 1 week. The next week is bring back the most expensive thing, but you can't buy it or steal it. So you got to run around town, you got to find things. It's kind of like a thinking game, and that just gets a whole lot of fun, with people. The things people bring back, and just the thoughts people have, and those are just the fun runs where you just it's just like talking to your friend for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. So.
And Abby, as you prep for your first season, what have you guys done for fun on the women's side?
Well, my team is just generally really supportive, and they're all really welcoming, especially to me being my first year. We have actually grown to be really close, even though we've only been running together for like a few weeks. We do a lot of team bonding things. We've had like pizza parties, we go out to breakfast after practice. I don't know, we do a lot of things aside from running. And then even running itself, we kind of bond with each other because we'll talk while we run, and it's really great to form relationships with all these people that I probably wouldn't have even known otherwise.
And is track as close as cross country as in teammates?
I don't think it is, just because with track, you train with the people who do the same events as you. So you really definitely bond with those people. But like when I ran track, I didn't know the throwers. I didn't know any, because I wasn't a thrower. So we definitely did things as a team. But even when we did things as a team, you would definitely hang out with the people who do your events, because those are the people who you've gotten to know.
Jack, your thoughts?
I think it's, she's spot on. And also I think that, Coach Corbett is really, he's really profound on, he really wants to make the team united and as one. In track, not so much, just because there's so many different, ranges of personality and event types and all stuff, so it's really hard to, to have like a practice together, but during cross country, like, this weekend, we're going up to, a freezing cold river, and we're gonna go, sit in the river. It's just, just stupid stuff like that, that just, it makes cross country, just unique. You don't really do that with track. We don't really have like team adventures or anything like that. It's just practice, meets, and then kind of go home.
All right, good stuff, guys. That's going to do it for the first segment of In the Studio, but we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, and we'll be back after the break.
In the Studio is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. Also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience, North Main Street, East Longmeadow. And you can follow LCAT Sports on Twitter with our handle at LCAT Sports.
Welcome back to In the Studio, everyone, and I am joined by junior cross-country runner Jack Moynihan and sophomore cross-country runner Abby Laughlin. And guys, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming 2013 season. And Jack, what are your team goals and personal goals for the upcoming season?
Well, my team goals, we just got moved down a league, just because we're, a smaller school. We were just not in the correct league. We're still D1. So I guess our cross-country goal is to win the division, or win the league, which we haven't done since 2001. So I think that's our real team goal. And then we're also, I think we want to come top 5 at the Western Mass meet. That would be really, that'd be really good for, we were 8th or 9th last year. So if we can come top 5 this year, it shows some really positive growth. As for personal goals, I'm hopefully, I'm looking to come top 7 at Western Mass, and hopefully top 75 in the state. I think that would be, that'd be a great, improvement. And I think, it's definitely a little bit of a stretch, but it's what I'm going for, and it should be good.
So do you guys have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, since it's been since 2001 that you guys have really had success?
Absolutely. I mean, and our coach Corbett, he was on the team that was the last one, to win the league. So he's always letting us know that, he's got the title, so, of course we want it back. And he definitely always puts a chip on our shoulder about anything, which always motivates us. And I think that's, the reason why we have, so many guys having a lot of success.
And you said you wanted to finish in the top 7 in Western Mass. Can you give us a little bit of, lessons here on what you've done in the past?
Well, last year I placed 13th in Western Mass. Last year, it changes every year, but top 17 last year made the state meet. There's typically, about 130, 140 runners who run in the D1 race. So it's, you qualify to make the Western Mass meet by being top 7 on your team. And then if you place, it changes every year. It's kind of confusing with the scoring. But it's usually top 20 is usually what will go into the state meet. And, and then after the state meet, that's it. There is no all states. You can't go to like New England's or anything. Now you could if you're good enough. You can try like a club team or something like that. But and then freshman year, I came in 32nd. So and that year it was pretty slow. So I missed states by a couple spots. But it's always just a continuous chip on your shoulder. Just you gotta always be better because you never know, how good guys are going to be. So you always gotta be on your toes.
And Abby, for your first season, what are your goals for a cross-country runner?
Well, as a team, I think that our team has a lot of talent, and we have a lot of people who are willing to work hard. I think that this year we could aim for a winning record and just to put in a good show at Western Mass and show other teams that we're definitely a force to be reckoned with. Personally, I really just want to do whatever I can to contribute to my team. I don't really have very high expectations personally, just because this is my first season, and I'd probably be able to tell more of how good I am compared to other people after the first meet. I kind of just want to do whatever I can to help our team and to contribute and to make our team as good as we can be.
And Abby, how different is it to be on a team that's co-ed than a team that isn't co-ed?
It's definitely different because we definitely get to know the boys team and we see them a lot, but we don't train with them. So it's still the girls team and the boys team. It's not really the cross-country team together because we don't train with them, but we do spend a lot of time with them and we see them at practices and pasta parties and stuff like that.
Jack, your thoughts?
I think that's spot on. We take the same buses to the same meets. We usually run. We don't run the same meets together, but guys will usually go off first, and then girls will finish. Then girls go off 10 minutes after the guys, or usually switches out. So you're always seeing them running together. Which is unlike the swim team where I'm on swimming, and you do practice together, meets together, the whole thing. That's completely co-ed. So it's different than that, but it's different than say the boys and girls soccer teams where that's totally totally split. So I think it's a good kind of mix between the two.
So it seems that you guys are really two separate teams in one. So how does the preparation going into the season, how does that work? How do you guys train? Do you guys train differently? And Jack, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we absolutely train differently. There's a lot of summer training goes in cross country. If you don't summer train, you're probably not going to do all the season. That's just the nature of the beast. So the girls team definitely, they train by themselves. The guys team trains by themselves. There's not really a lot of co-ed training, but there's a lot of co-ed kind of racing, if you will. It's a lot of collaboration about what kind of goes on. Meets Abby's a new year or a new runner, so the guys team is always there. If she needs help, telling her about the different courses, different races, different teams. So.
And Abby, how is the girls team preparing for the upcoming season?
We've done a lot of preparing. It's a lot different than other sports that I've played because you really have to be out there every day running, and not just running. There are definitely other ways that we train. We do weights, we do core, we do different types of running. We don't just go out and run 3 miles. We'll do a long run one day, we'll do a short, fast run another day. It's really different, but it's a lot of training. But once you get to the season and you're in good shape and you're able to do all the training during the season, you're able to do the practices, it definitely pays off.
You touched on the different training drills. What is your favorite out of the ones you listed? What would you say?
Well, basically all of our training's designed so that we'll peak at the right moment, and we do different days of, one day we'll do a really hard workout and then the next day we'll do an easy workout. I personally like after doing a hard workout because I just feel really good and really strong after hard workouts, pickups, which is you'll run a minute and then you'll pick up the pace for a minute and you'll go as fast as you can and then you'll go back to jogging, and you might do that 10 times. I really like those because after I'm finished with those, it's really hard and sometimes it's painful, but when you're done, it definitely feels good.
When the first gunshot goes off for the season, for the first race, what's going to be going through your head for your first season?
I'm definitely nervous for my first season, but I'm also really excited. And I know that before the race, I'm going to be a wreck. I'm going to be so nervous and I'm going to be pacing and freaking out. But I feel like once I'm running, I'll calm down. I'll be just kind of confident and I'll know what I'm doing. Just like in track, I feel the same way. Before every meet, you're always nervous. You're always worrying about if you're going to do well, if you're not going to do well. But I think once you're running, you kind of calm down. And I'll just be excited and in my comfort zone.
Jack, you're coming into your third season. What's going to be going through your head for the first race?
Well, I'm going to be very excited, very determined to do what I need to do to not only run well, but to help the team, help the team win races, get guys to really run their best, because it's not all about how well you do. It's always about how you're going to build other people. So I'm just going to be really excited. I get really nervous before races. I get really amped up before races, and when that first gunshot goes off, it's all you. You just have to trust that. I've done the summer training, I've done it all. Now's my time to shine. Now's the time to really show it.
And Abby, are you looking forward to any courses this year? Do you have any highlighted favorite places you would like to run as the season approaches?
Not really, to be honest. I'm excited to run our course because I know that course, but I don't know the courses well enough that I can pick one that I'm really excited about. So not really.
I happen to love where Western Mass is and where States was last year, Northfield Mountain. Pretty brutal. First pretty much a mile is straight up a hill. Next mile's straight down a hill. And then you kind of got a little bit of mix in between the two. For the last mile. So I love that course just from its sheer impossibleness, if you will. And then but I love our course too. Our course is really flat. I'm not a fan of Northampton or Ludlow. Those typically are really hilly. But the courses generally stay the same every year, and they kind of switch up. We're not going to Longmeadow this year. They're coming to us. We went there last year, so it switches up. But I love our course. I'd probably love Western Mass as well.
So with courses that have hills on them, what changes that? Does that change the dynamic of how you get prepared before that race? How does that? Is it more difficult, or is it just not as fun?
Absolutely. I personally think it's even more fun, just because I'm
challenge.
It's just a challenge. It's something you got to overcome, because most people, when they see a hill, are like, well, maybe not. I'm not really feeling it. But when you have the real determination to just go after and just attack it, not many people have that. So you gotta, if you can really, that's your time to shine. Anybody can run, well on a track, but can you run well, with hills and running through mud and all those different things. So I think it's it's just something you got. It's just something that's unique to the sport, because you never know, what your terrain's going to be.
And Abby, your take on that?
Yeah, I think I agree with Jack that you definitely have to change your strategy going into a race at one course as opposed to a different course. I feel like every race definitely has a different strategy depending on who you're racing, where you're racing. I agree that it's definitely a lot different, and you'll definitely have a different time, a different outcome of a race running at a hilly place opposed to a flat place. It's definitely different.
Jack, can you describe to me what is the duck race?
So the duck races is something that we now have at our course. It's on September 21st at 9 a.m. And it used to be, my freshman year was at Southwick, and it's typically a really, really flat course, something that's really fast, really short, and not a lot of hills, which is exactly what our course in Southwick was. It's after a guy named Ted Duckowitz, who he was kind of a cross-country idol, if you will. He really he did a lot to memorial really for him. He did a lot to bring the sport of cross-country
Embrace
up,
the game.
really embrace it. So it's more just a memorial race for him. We have 13 teams coming, so it's a huge invitational, and a lot of good competition. All the anybody who's anybody in Western Mass is going to be there. So it's good. It's a good preparation for the Western Mass meet and Pioneer Valley meets and all that stuff. So,
how big is it to you that it's here at your home?
Well, I love the home course. Home course is by far my favorite. Not only just because it's home, just because it's just a great course. Really fast, really flat, and you can run a great time. So, and that's really what the goal of the duck races is. It's really to give you a great starting race. Because it's in the beginning of our season. So it's awesome. I'm already getting amped up for it.
And Abby, this is going to be your first one. What are you looking forward to in the duck race?
Just all the competition of all the teams. I've heard from many different people that it's such a great time, so I'm just really excited to be able to experience it myself, and I think it'll be a really fun race.
Jack, how is cross country scored? And I know that's a lot of mathematical stuff and equations in there, but can you try to give our viewers kind of a description of how it's scored?
So, general gist of it, you have your top 7 runners are considered to be your varsity runners. But your top 5 runners are actually the ones who score. So what happens is, let's just say I came in 3rd. I would get X amount of points. It changes with every meet. So I would get X amount of points towards my team. then let's say our number 2 guy comes in, 5th. He gets X amount of points, and there's different point values for the different, for the different places, and you tally up your top 5 scores, and that pretty much, so it could technically be, you could get 121 to like 3. That it has happened before. So, but that doesn't necessarily, it's not really like basketball where, oh my God, you just got, blown out by 119 points. That's not how that works. That's not, because you could have a lot of really quality runners who are just not, there's, got a lot of great guys who are just in the back a little bit, but they're really close knit and can really hold their own. But, it's kind of faulty because you don't show that in the score.
Let's go back to preparation. Abby, what music do you like to listen to before a race or at practice, and does it really help you?
Well, I have a lot of superstitions regarding track, cross country, actually any sport, but I always have to listen to the same playlist, the same songs in the same order before every meet, every race. I was listening to the Linkin Park album before every meet, and I don't know why. I'm just kind of obsessive about it. Like, I feel like if I don't listen to it, I won't do well or something. I don't know.
How many songs are on that playlist? A lot? To hold you for a whole race, or?
No, you can't listen to music during a race.
Oh, okay.
No. But just before, like on the bus ride there. For track, the bus ride to Northampton's like 45 minutes, so I have about 15 songs that I listen to. So, yeah, it just really gets me like amped up and pumped up, and I'm kind of superstitious about it, so.
And Jack, is it Dave Matthews all the way, or?
No, it's funny, because I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan, but I really don't listen to him before my races. The one song that I have to listen to is Hall of Fame by The Script. I have to listen to that. It has to be the last one, the last song that I listen to before I go race. Other than that, my friend on the swim team gave me like a heavy metal album, with some rap in there. Like, I got a whole bunch of, just stuff that just gets you amped up for it, which is not, it's not typically, my typical genre of music, but I definitely have the same playlist, and I definitely get amped up for it.
All right, guys, thanks. We're learning a lot of stuff here. We hope to have you guys stick around as Jack and Abby will answer 5 rapid-fire questions right after the break. That was good. I didn't know you came this time.
In the Studio is brought to you in part by The Pizza Shop, home of the legendary dough, Shaker Road in East Longmeadow. Also by Let's Yo, a yogurt experience, North Main Street, East Longmeadow. And you can follow LCAT Sports on Twitter with our handle at LCAT Sports.
Welcome to the final segment of In the Studio, and guys, I want to thank you for being here. It's been a great time. I've learned so much about cross country, but for the final segment, we're going to do this for the first time ever. It's called a little rapid fire here on In the Studio. And Jack, we'll start with you. You fly planes, and so do you like TiVo time better or flight time better?
I have to say I like flight time better, only because TiVo got released. So, but I mean, hey, flying's can't get much better than flying,
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie would have to be Forrest Gump.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? Ooh, probably mac and cheese.
And if you could live in one state other than Massachusetts or Connecticut, what would it be?
Ooh, probably California.
And California?
Yep.
Where in California? LA?
Probably San Diego.
San Diego? That's right, 75 every day there. Celebrity crush?
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez, okay. Abby, we'll go with you now. We're going to start off with the same question. Celebrity crush, who is yours?
James Marsden.
James Marsden. Favorite music type?
Country.
Country, who's your favorite?
Probably, I like Jason Aldean.
Jason
That's
Aldean.
my favorite.
Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks?
Dunkin' Donuts.
If you could invite one person to dinner, who would it be and why?
Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live, because he's hilarious.
And your favorite animal?
Dog.
A dog?
A dog.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of In the Studio. I want to thank my guests, Jack Moynihan and Abby Laughlin. And just to remind everybody, we're here every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 5 with new athlete interviews each week. And you can also check out our YouTube channel at LCAT 01028, and you can go onto our LCAT website and see our full broadcast schedule for the full slate of fall sports this year. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to join you next time.
Carrington with another throwdown. Ariel with a three, yes! Ariel Ward knocks it down at the buzzer!
Shot on net. In for Alyssa Balboni.